Welcome, curious dreamer, to Science of Sleep. Tonight we dive into gravity's silent orchestration of every breath, every heartbeat, and every cellular whisper in your body. If this voyage soothes you, subscribe and ring the bell now, and join me again beneath the cosmic tapestry of slumber. Lie back and feel gravity's gentle embrace pressing you into the mattress. With each inhale, your diaphragm contracts and moves downward, striving to expand your lungs, those marvels of soft tissue that fill the chest cavity like two folded fans only, to meet gravity's steady resistance. As you exhale, the diaphragm relaxes upward, and your ribcage draws inward, creating a slow, tranquil dance choreographed by the unseen pull of Earth itself. When you lie flat on your back, gravity subtly alters the pressure gradients within your lungs. Picture millions of microscopic air sacs, clusters of tiny balloons, called alveoli, anchored at the ends of ever-branching airways. The alveoli nearest the mattress bear extra weight, causing some to partially collapse, while those higher up inflate more fully. This vertical gradient in lung compliance means your maximum breath volume can drop by nearly 10% compared to standing. Each inhalation brings in fewer liters of air, and every exhalation releases less carbon dioxide than it might otherwise. Consider Emma, a 42-year-old graphic designer who battled mild nighttime oxygen dips for years. Overnight monitoring revealed her blood oxygen saturation sliding into the low 90s whenever she lay supine. After she began lying on her side with a simple wedge pillow, her average saturation climbed 3 percentage points. Morning headaches and daytime fatigue receded. In a clinical trial of 30 participants, positional therapy alone trimmed breathing, interruptions, and hypomia by 25%. These findings underscore how posture and gravity, when aligned, can meaningfully enhance gas exchange and sleep quality by day. Gravity draws blood and interstitial fluid toward our legs. At night, as you drift horizontal, fluids shift back toward your torso and head. This nocturnal redistribution fuels the glymphatic system, a hidden network of channels that acts like a cleansing river through your brain. Imagine cerebrospinal. Fluid surging along gentle slopes between neurons, washing away metabolic waste such as sticky beta-amyloid protein. In rodent studies, side lying boosted this waste clearance by 60% compared to supine positioning. Without this nightly brain rinse, cognitive fog descends, and long-term risks of neurodegenerative change rise. Long before our era of pulmonary function tests and magnetic imaging, Persian healers noted that the chest felt heavy under gravity's weight. They designed wedge-shaped beds to elevate the torso, easing breathing for those with respiratory ailments. In 17th century France, physicians, like Dr. Dupont, sketched early diagrams on candlelit parchment, observing airflow improvements at just 15-degree inclines. Those pioneers intuited what we now confirm: a modest elevation can optimize both ventilation, the movement of air, and perfusion, the flow of blood through the lungs. To harness these effects tonight, let's practice an extended breathing protocol. First, prop your head 6 inches above your heart, or lie on your side. Rest one hand gently on your abdomen, the other on your chest. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4, feeling your belly expand like a soft, rising balloon while your chest stays relatively still. Pause for 2 counts. Then exhale through gently pursed lips for 6 counts, sensing your abdomen flatten as if guiding air out of hidden caverns deep within your ribs. Continue this cycle for 5 minutes, training each breath to reach the lung bases and to overcome gravitational resistance. Next, explore reclining ocean sound breathing. Slightly constrict the back of your throat as you inhale, producing a soft haw like distant waves on the shore. Exhale with the same gentle restriction. Ancient yogis practiced this ujjayi breath in seated meditation. Modern studies link it to improved heart rate variability, reduced stress hormones, and deeper slow-wave sleep. Now, stand beside your bed for coordinated breath hand movement drills. Inhale as you sweep your arms overhead, drawing cool mountain air into every alveolus. Exhale as you lower them, visualizing stale air and tension flowing out of your body. Perform 10 slow, deliberate repetitions. Feel gravity guide each motion, priming both your respiratory muscles and your vestibular system. those inner ear sensors that sense head position for the restorative journey ahead. Even astronauts learn this lesson in reverse, aboard the International Space Station, where microgravity rules. Without Earth's pull, bodily fluids drift ceaselessly toward the head, causing puffy faces, sinus congestion, and blurred vision. Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield recorded in his sleep journal, "My first ZOG night felt like floating through cotton, effortless breathing. Yet I awoke groggy, as if my mind lacked its nightly river cleanse." When returning to Earth, he discovered that even a slight bed incline relieved nasal congestion and reactivated his brain's waste removal flows. Cultures across millennia have honored gravity's hidden role in rest. Ancient Egyptians angled their raised sleeping platforms to ease breathing and align with the Nile's currents and celestial rhythms. In traditional Japan, low-profile futons on firm floors encouraged side-lying positions practices. Modern research shows optimize both airflow and glymphatic clearance. Today's so-called zero-gravity beds mimic these ancient wisdoms. Lifting feet above the heart, or tilting the torso to balance comfort with physiological benefit. Beyond these practices, contemporary clinicians employ ultrasound and CT imaging to map pleural pressure gradients in exquisite detail. They observe how dependent lung zones, those closest to the mattress, exhibit reduced compliance and slower alveolar filling under gravity's pull. These insights inform personalized sleep position prescriptions, specific incline angles tailored to each individual's anatomy and pulmonary profile. Let this deep awareness guide your nightly ritual. Begin with 5 minutes of diaphragmatic breathing in side-lying or slight incline. Then elevate your head 2 to 3 inches with a firm wedge-pillow to fine-tune fluid shifts and ventilation. Drape a lightweight weighted blanket over your torso. It's even. Gentle pressure complements gravity's own embrace, boosting your body's calming hormones like serotonin and oxytocin for a richer slow-wave phase. Finally, indulge in a brief guided visualization. Imagine crimson blood cells drifting through pulmonary capillaries like autumn leaves on a silent stream, carried by gravity's unseen currents. Picture cerebrospinal fluid coursing through hidden channels in your brain, clearing away yesterday's debris. As your breath deepens and your body yields to Earth's constant pull, let your mind drift in that hushed space between wakefulness and sleep. You will feel gravity cradle you into a seamless surrender and effortless transition to the restorative embrace of slumber. As your body continues to yield to gravity's embrace, you may find that this same force that cradles your every breath can also, at times, conspire against your sleep. Rather than a separate chapter, these challenges flow naturally from the physiology you now understand, each one a subtle twist in gravity's influence on your anatomy and nightly rest. Obstructive sleep apnea. One of the most pervasive gravity-related disturbances is obstructive sleep apnea. Picture your upper airway as a flexible tunnel lined with soft tissue. When you lie flat and muscles relax in deep sleep, gravity permits the tongue, soft palate, and lateral pharyngeal walls to sag inward. This collapse can cut off airflow for 10 seconds or more in apnea before your brain, sensing a dangerous drop in blood oxygen, jolts you into a partial awakening. Though you may not recall these arousals, they fragment slow wave and REM sleep, leaving you feeling unrefreshed, fatigued, and prone to daytime lapses in concentration. In clinical trials, head-of-bed elevation has demonstrated remarkable efficacy. A simple 10-degree wedge under the mattress or pillow can reduce apnea-hypomia index AHI by up to 30%. In one landmark study of 50 adults with mild to moderate sleep apnea, those who consistently slept with a 10-degree incline saw average AHI drop from 18 to 9 events per hour and reported a 40% reduction in daytime sleepiness. This modest adjustment leverages gravity to keep your airway gently open, transforming a nightly hazard into a manageable feature of your sleep environment. Gastroesophageal reflux, a nighttime heartburn. Gravity's effects extend beyond your airway. When you lie fully horizontal after dinner, stomach acid can drift upward into the lower esophagus, irritating delicate tissues and triggering nocturnal heartburn. This reflux not only disturbs comfort, but can provoke micro-awakenings, as acid spills into the throat and airway, causing coughing, choking, or a burning sensation that briefly pulls you from slumber. Randomized controlled trials show that elevating the upper body by just 6 to 8 inches reduces acid exposure by over 50%. Participants slept more soundly, with 20 to 30% fewer arousals and significant improvements in sleep quality scores. A wedge pillow or adjustable bed frame can transform reflux from a nightly torment into a rare inconvenience. Restless leg syndrome and fluid pooling. Another common culprit is restless leg syndrome, RLS, characterized by an irresistible urge to move the legs, often accompanied by tingling or aching sensations. As you lie still under gravity's pull, blood and interstitial fluid gravitate toward dependent limbs, increasing tissue pressure and triggering those uncomfortable feelings that only movement can relieve. Polysomnography studies reveal that patients with RLS experience up to 60 leg movements per hour, each one a potential sleep fragment. Yet controlled compression and elevation can help. In one trial, wearing light medical-grade compression stockings and elevating the calves by 2 to 3 inches reduced periodic limb movements by nearly 40%. Patients reported deeper, less interrupted sleep and brighter mornings. Positional therapy and behavioral conditioning. Beyond physical supports, behavioral strategies can harness gravity to your advantage. Positional therapy trains you to avoid supine sleep, the posture most likely to provoke apnea and reflux. A time-honored method involves sewing a tennis ball into the back of your pajama top each time you roll onto your back. The ball prods you to return to a side-lying position. Overnight, your body learns to favor lateral sleep without conscious effort. In a study of 70 apnea sufferers, positional therapy reduced AHI by 20%, on average comparable to early stage continuous positive airway pressure, CPAP, result set without the need for masks or machines. Hypercapnia and carbon dioxide clearance. Gravity also influences carbon dioxide clearance. In supine posture, the reduced tidal volumes and ventilation perfusion mismatches we described allow CO2 rise slightly during sleep. Your central chemoreceptors detect this rise and trigger microarousals to restore equilibrium. Studies monitoring end-tidal CO show that maintaining an incline of just 6 degrees can lower average nocturnal CO levels by 5 mmHg. While this may sound modest, those few millimeters of mercury can translate to a 15 to 20% decrease in microawakenings over the course of a night, consolidating the restorative phases of sleep, hypoventilation syndromes, and obesity. Hypoventilation for individuals with obesity, hypoventilation syndrome. Gravity compounds existing challenges. Excess abdominal weight presses upward on the diaphragm when supine, further reducing lung volumes. The result is chronic underventilation, elevated CO, and daytime hypersomnolence. Interventions that combine head-of-bed elevation with lateral sleeping positions can improve arterial blood gases by up to 30%. In obese patients enrolled in tilt-based therapy, daytime sleepiness scores dropped by 50% within 2 weeks, underscoring the power of gravity-aware adjustments even in complex conditions. Clinical vignette. Mr. Thompson's transformation meet. Mr. David Thompson, a 57-year-old teacher whose overnight pulse oximetry once revealed oxygen saturation plummeting into the mid-80s for up to 2 minutes at a time. He awoke unrefreshed, his wife's sleep equally disrupted by loud choking sounds. Reluctant to adopt CPAP, he trialed positional therapy and head-of-bed elevation. Within 1 week, his oxygen desaturations nearly vanished, and his AHI had from 28 to 14. He described waking feeling like myself again, no longer plagued by morning headaches or daytime fatigue. His wife, too, celebrated quieter nights. This transformation, achieved without machinery, highlights how simple gravity-aligned therapies can rival more invasive options. Airline travel and upright sleep. Gravity's role is not confined to horizontal rest. Consider business travelers seeking sleep in upright airline seats. Jet lag studies find that reclining seats to even a 45-degree angle improve sleep duration and subjective restfulness by 20% compared to fully upright seating. Brief naps at altitude benefit from modified recline angles between 30 and 60 degrees balancing gravitational assistance with postural comfort. These findings reinforce the principle that, wherever you rest, alignment with gravity's vector enhances your chance of restorative sleep. Integrative approaches, combining gravity with sound and light cutting edge. Sleep centers now integrate gravity-based therapies with other modalities. Combining head-of-bed elevation, weighted blankets, gentle white noise machines, and dim amber nightlights creates a multi-sensory cocoon. One pilot program reported that participants using this integrative bundle fell asleep 30% faster and slept 25% longer than those employing standard sleep hygiene alone. Gravity sets the physical stage. Sound and light modulate the sensory environment, together, producing a sleep sanctuary. Cultural perspectives on gravity and sleep cultures worldwide have long recognized gravity's subtle directives. In coastal Peru, high-altitude villages use bed frames carved at slight angles to reduce nocturnal breathing difficulties in thin air. In Russia's cold steppes, yurts feature elevated sleeping platforms to combat damp ground and gravity congestion. Indigenous Arctic peoples built raised bedding structures over heated stones, an adaptation that inadvertently reduced supine apnea and reflux. These vernacular designs remind us that traditional wisdom often anticipated modern science, using gravity and its counterbalances to foster better sleep across climates and terrains. Guided visualization for gravity-lined sleep. As you absorb these insights, let your mind follow this guided image. Envision your airway as a smooth tunnel of flexible walls, gently propped open by gravity's even hand. Picture stomach acids reclining harmlessly below a modest incline, far from the throat. Visualize restful legs, their tissues softly supported, fluids circulating unimpeded. Feel yourself nestled in a perfect alignment with the earth, gravity, and anatomy in harmonious accord. Each breath you take now carries this blended awareness of force and freedom, steering you toward deeper, uninterrupted slumber. By understanding these gravity-driven sleep disturbances and embracing simple, science-backed adjustments, you can transform potential nightly foes into allies in the seamless harmony of posture, pressure, and gentle incline. You discover a sanctuary where deep sleep is not a hope, but an expectation, one that begins tonight. As gravity cradles you ever more tenderly, as you continue to explore gravity's guiding hand by day and night, let your mind drift now to the edge of our atmosphere, where Earth's familiar pull gives way to perpetual freefall, and what the lessons of microgravity can teach us about perfecting sleep back home. Aboard the International Space Station, ISS, astronauts trade one gravity field for another, a constant state of weightlessness that transforms every breath, every fluid shift, and every neurochemical cue. From the moment they enter orbit, crew members experience fluid shift, as blood and interstitial fluids that once pooled in the lower extremities surge headward. Within hours, nearly 90% of astronauts report facial puffiness, nasal congestion, and increased intracranial pressure. Imagine waking to the sensation of your skull swollen beneath the surface of your scalp. Each dawn, a reminder that Earth's 1G gravitational vector, which you once took for granted, now governs every aspect of rest you once enjoyed effortlessly. The ISS employs lower body negative pressure, LBNP, devices essentially airtight skirts, connected to suction pumps around the waist and legs to recreate Earth-like fluid distribution. In controlled trials, 20-minute LBNP sessions, conducted nightly, restored roughly 70% of normal head-to-leg fluid balance. Crew members, who used LBNP alone, saw sleep interruptions drop by 30%, reporting fewer headaches and smoother transitions into slow-wave sleep. Russian cosmonaut Oleg Kononenko described donning the device as slipping back into Earth's embrace, while mission sleep logs noted a dramatic 25% improvement in subjective sleep quality and a measurable increase in delta wave activity during slow-wave phases. Yet fluid dynamics represent just the first chapter of microgravity's sleep story. The absence of a stable downward vector silences the otolith organs in your inner ear, the tiny calcium carbonate crystals that detect tilt and linear acceleration. Deprived of this input, the brain scrambles to interpret body position, often defaulting to a heightened state of alertness, incompatible with the deep relaxation essential for sleep. to simulate gravitational cues. Astronauts perform pre-sleep vestibular retraining, gentle head tilts combined with diaphragmatic breathing, guided by mental imagery of sliding down a soft incline. In one NASA experiment, crew members practicing these routines for 15 minutes before lights out fell asleep 15 minutes faster and experienced 20% fewer awakenings during the night compared to control subjects. Lighting aboard the station adds yet another layer of complexity. Orbiting Earth every 90 minutes. The ISS witnesses 16 sunrises and sunsets each day, effectively obliterating natural circadian signals. To compensate, engineers installed tunable LED arrays that dynamically shift color temperature and intensity. Morning light-rich, in blue wavelengths, at around 5,000 kph. The station for 2 hours after each simulated sunrise, suppressing melatonin secretion and promoting alertness. As evening approaches, the panels transition gradually to amber hues near 1800K, encouraging the onset of sleepiness. Adherence to this lighting schedule has been shown to align core, body temperature, rhythm, and melatonin onset to an Earth-like 24-hour cycle within 3 days, reducing sleep latency by 30% and slashing nighttime arousals by 25%. Microgravity's impact stretches beyond fluid shifts and sensory recalibration. It extends to the very architecture of our musculoskeletal system. Back on Earth, gravity compresses spinal discs daily, signaling bone-forming cells to maintain density and sculpting joint alignments that support efficient movement and restful postures. In space, the spinal column can lengthen by up to 2 inches as intervertebral discs expand without downward compression. Initially, astronauts relish this extra height, but soon they report persistent lower back pain and nerve tensions that punctuate their sleep with discomfort. To counter these effects, the ISS employs the advanced resistive exercise device AIRD, which uses vacuum cylinders to simulate free-weight barbell lifts. Crew members perform daily 2-hour sessions, including squats, deadlifts, and overhead presses that not only preserve muscle mass and bone density, but also restore mechanical loading, essential for comfortable sleep. Those who adhere strictly to the AIRD regimen report 30% more slow-wave activity and improved sleep efficiency, approaching the 85% efficiency typical of well-rested Earth dwellers. Re-entry into Earth's gravity field presents a final trial. The fiery descent through the atmosphere subjects astronauts to 2 to 3 g of acceleration gravitational forces, 2 to 3 times the weight they carried on orbit, only to slam their bodies abruptly back into a 1-gram environment. Upon landing, sleep specialists note that acute sleep deprivation prior to re-entry heightens the risk of G-induced loss of consciousness during these high G phases. As a result, NASA requires crew members to perform at least 2 hours of LBNP, or head rest, before re-entry. Post-landing sleep logs often describe the first few nights on Earth as a tidal wave of vivid dreams, mixed with insomnia and restless tossing as vestibular signals, blood distributions, and spinal loads recalibrate. In the NASA twin study, where astronaut Scott Kelly spent nearly a year aboard the ISS, post-flight sleep analyses revealed upregulation of circadian genes for 2 weeks after return, prolonging the adjustment period and underscoring gravity's fundamental role in resetting our molecular clocks. Cumulatively, these microgravity insights inform a richer appreciation of gravity's influence on sleep back on Earth. We learn that gravity not only shapes our posture and bone health but also orchestrates fluid dynamics, sensory integration, hormonal cycles, and neural waste clearance. By embracing this knowledge, we can design more effective sleep environments. Fluid management. Just as LBNP boots draw fluids to the legs, elevate the head of your bed by 6 inches, or wear light compression socks to prevent dependent pooling in the torso and head, preserving clear nasal passages and optimal intracranial pressures. Vestibular cues. Engage in bead edge, vestibular stretches, low head tilts, gentle forward and backward nods synchronized with mindful breathing to activate the otoliths and prime your balance system for sleep. Timed lighting. Install programmable dawn simulator lamps that deliver cool, blue-enhanced light for morning wake-ups and shift to warm amber evenings. reinforcing your natural circadian rhythm and improving melatonin onset. Mechanical loading. Incorporate resistance-based exercises or vibration platforms into your daily routine to maintain musculoskeletal integrity. A brief pre-bedtime bodyweight routine: squats, calf raises, light wall presses can help preserve spinal compression cycles and support restful postures. Gravity, meditation, practice guided imagery, tracing the path of a single drop of fluid, migrating down your spine, toward the hips, visualizing alveoli expanding and contracting in time with that movement, forging a conscious dialogue with gravity. Even the simplest application of these lessons: a wedge pillow under the shoulders, a pair of knee-high compression sleeves, a 5-minute vestibular stretch can yield measurable improvements in sleep continuity, depth, and morning alertness. In honoring gravity's indispensable role, from the weightlessness of space to the firmness of Earth beneath us, we transform an invisible force into a conscious ally. As you lie down tonight, feel each breath carried by gravity's steady hand, guiding you into the sanctuary of deep, uninterrupted slumber. Across continents and centuries, the quest for better rest under gravity's watchful eye has inspired ingenious adaptations, culture offering unique innovations that echo our deep-seated need to align body, breath, and environment with Earth's pull. In the high plateaus of Tibet, monks residing in mountain monasteries fashioned their sleeping surfaces from firm wooden planks, placing narrow mats atop them and propping small stones under the feet of the bed frame. They believed that elevating the lower body eased the constant downward tug on the lungs at altitude, lending clarity to both breath and mind. Modern mountaineering research confirms that a slight incline can improve oxygenation in low environments by promoting more uniform ventilation, reducing the sensation of breathlessness that often accompanies high-altitude sleep. Further west, medieval Arabic scholars recorded rotating waterbeds, large wooden basins filled with shallow water and heated stones to regulate both temperature and gravitational pressure. By floating on warm, gently undulating water, sleepers experienced reduced joint strain under gravity and enjoyed consistent drainage of fluids from the head. Contemporary hydrotherapy enthusiasts resurrect this idea in gravity-neutral float tanks, where buoyancy mirrors microgravity's fluid distribution benefits, and practitioners report deeper relaxation and improved sleep latency in rural Eastern Europe. Romanian bizarric raised beds built from hand-hewn logs often stood 2 feet off the ground. Beneath them, villagers stored hay or straw bundles. This setup offered 2 advantages. The air gap under the bed prevented dampness and allergens from rising, and the slight softness of the hay cushion against gravity's downward pull cushioned pressure points, reducing nighttime tossing. Though simple, this design aligned perfectly with current recommendations for firm, breathable sleep surfaces that maintain spinal neutrality. Turning to the New World, Native American tribes crafted cradleboards to rock infants to sleep in a gentle, repeating motion, an early form of vestibular therapy. The constant sway engaged the inner ear balance mechanisms, simulating Earth's settling pull and lulling babies into longer, more peaceful naps. Today's research on rhythmic rocking confirms that frequencies around 0.25 Hz enhance sleep spindle activity during non-REM sleep, deepening the sleep cycle, much as those cradleboards did centuries ago. In 18th century England, estate owners popularized the chaise longue, a long upholstered chair that reclined at precisely 45 degrees. This gravity chair allowed the body to recline comfortably, distributing weight across hip and shoulder, while elevating the legs to improve venous return. Physicians of the era recommended it for convalescents and pregnant women. A like advice confirmed by modern studies, showing that semi-recumbent positions reduce edema and improve maternal sleep quality in late pregnancy. Spanish siesta culture offers another dimension: the midday nap, taken in a quiet, shaded room. While reclining sofas became fashionable, common folk often simply lay on a low divan or mat, feet slightly elevated on a rolled blanket. This posture favored lateral rest, mirroring the benefits of side-lying that reduce sleep apnea severity and boost glymphatic flow. Contemporary siesta research indicates that a brief lateral nap can improve cognitive performance, mood, and cardiovascular health, reinforcing what generations of Spaniards knew instinctively: Even within the minimalist aesthetic of modern design, gravity-lined solutions flourish. Scandinavian sleep pods, compact, pod-shaped sleeping capsules, found in co-living spaces, feature adjustable bases that tilt the occupant's body by 10 to 15 degrees. Engineers have found that setting pods to a zero-gravity recline, angled where the knees are slightly higher than the heart, distributes weight evenly, reducing pressure on the lower back and fostering deeper rest cycles. Early adopters report fewer awakenings and enhanced morning alertness, suggesting that the optimal recline is not merely stylistic, but physiologically grounded across Oceania. Pacific Islander dwellings often include open-air raised platforms, adorned with woven mats. Positioned to capture gentle trade winds, sleepers benefited from drafts that cooled the skin surface, encouraging vasodilation and efficient heat loss processes known to promote slow-wave sleep. The combination of airflow, firm surface, and slight elevation echoes modern recommendations for bedroom temperature around P-18 degrees Celsius, and firm bedding to optimize both thermoregulation and gravitational comfort. From Himalayan monasteries to Pacific atolls, from candlelit Arab waterbeds to the ultra-modern Scandinavian sleep pod, every corner of the world has discovered ways to converse with gravity in the service of rest. By weaving these time-tested practices together, we gain a tapestry of insights. Incline versatility. Modest angles often between 10 and 15 degrees recur across cultures, reducing reflux, opening airways, and guiding fluid shifts. Surface firmness, whether wood log, mat, or modern foam. Firm support prevents excessive sinking that can compromise spinal alignment and ventilation. Vestibular engagement. Gentle rocking or deliberate head tilts harness inner-ear pathways to ease the transition into sleep. Thermal management, elevated platforms and open-air designs facilitate cooling and airflow critical for initiating and maintaining. Restorative stages, cultural rituals, from siestas to the framing of rest as a daily ritual enhances compliance and integrates gravity-aware practices into communal life. Now, as you prepare to drift into sleep, consider which elements align with your environment and heritage. Could you recreate the snug incline of an ancient chaise, along with your adjustable bed frame? Might a brief, rhythmic rocking motion before lights out prime your inner ear for relaxation? Will a lightweight, firm mat atop your mattress evoke the wisdom of Pacific weavers? Even small adaptations, a folded blanket for calf elevation, a guided vestibular stretch, a programmable dawn lamp invite centuries of gravity-aligned ingenuity into your bedroom. In honoring these global traditions, you become part of an unbroken lineage, one that stretches from the sands of Egypt to the heights of Tibet and beyond, discovering again and again that the secret to profound rest lies not in defying gravity, but in dancing with it. Let this heritage guide your posture, your breath, and your nightly rituals. In that harmonious embrace, you find the seamless surrender to sleep that humanity has sought since time immemorial. As you settle into each carefully chosen element of this ritual, let us deepen and enrich every step, bubbling the detail, history, physiology, and embodied practice so that your nightly voyage becomes an even more seamless surrender to gravity's nurturing pull. First, prepare your sleep surface with precision and purpose. Elevate your head by exactly 4 to 6 inches, about the height of 3 stacked paperback books, using a firm wedge pillow or an adjustable bed base. This isn't a random choice, but a direct echo of both ancient customs and modern clinical evidence. The 15th degree tilt, favored by Egyptian pharaohs, reduced nightly reflux and aligned sleepers' hearts with cosmic currents. 17. Medical manuscripts affirm that a 6-inch elevation eased breathing and digestion simultaneously. Tonight, mirror their wisdom. Use a wedge with a rigid foam core for stable support, ensuring your neck stays neutral rather than flexed or extended. Beneath your knees, position a 6 to 8-inch bolster, perhaps a cylindrical yoga cushion or a rolled towel to lift your lower legs. This nod to Tibetan high-altitude monks' practice prevents fluid pooling in the feet, encourages venous return, and gently flexes the hips, preserving natural lumbar curvature. Together, head and leg elevation create a dual pendulum of gravities influence, one end guiding air into open lung bases, the other coaxing blood back toward the heart. This precise geometry minimizes both acid reflux episodes by up to 50%, according to randomized trials in lower limb edema, while also setting the stage for glymphatic drainage toward the midline of your body. Second, elevate your breathing. Practice into a gravity-aligned art form. Lie in your chosen setup, side-lying, or slight. Incline and place one hand gently on your navel and the other on your chest. Begin an extended diaphragmatic sequence. 1. 5-second inhale. Breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 5. Feel the mattress beneath you absorb the expanding pressure of your abdomen. Picture your diaphragm descending under gravity's gaze, pulling air downward into the deepest alveolar chambers. 2. 2-second pause. Hold that inhale for 2 counts, allowing oxygen to diffuse fully across the alveolar capillary interface. This pause magnifies gas exchange, ensuring your blood carries the richest possible payload of oxygen before release. 3 7-second. Exhale. Exhale through gently pursed lips for 7 counts, visualizing stale carbon dioxide flowing up narrow bronchial pathways and out into the air. Let the longer exhale signal the parasympathetic nervous system to calm your heart rate and focus your mind on release. Continue this cycle for 6 minutes. Then every 2 minutes increase your inhale and exhale durations by 1 count, leading to a crescendo of a 9-second inhale and an 11-second exhale. This progressive extension entrains your respiratory rhythm to gravity's own pace. Slow, deliberate, unhurried and has been shown in clinical settings to improve heart rate variability by up to 20%, a marker of deeper relaxation and resilience. Third, embrace the power of gentle pressure with a weighted blanket, transforming gravity's pull into a comforting, enveloping hug. Choose a blanket equal to 10% of your body weight, typically between 10 and 15 pounds. Spread it evenly across your torso and hips, ensuring no edges lift away. Its steady, uniform pressure mimics deep pressure touch therapy, proven to increase serotonin and oxytocin release by up to 30%, reducing cortisol levels and paving the way for richer slow-wave delta sleep. If you lack a true weighted blanket, layer 2 lightweight quilts, or tuck a cotton throw tightly under the mattress edges to create a similar sensory effect environment. Fourth, curate your ambient environment so every sense aligns with gravity's called out. 30 minutes before bed, dim all overhead lights and activate a programmable lamp with a customizable spectrum. Program the LEDs to transition over that half hour from 40K bright white down through muted golds to a warm 200K amber, just as NASA's ISS lighting protocols have shown to entrain circadian rhythms within 3 days. Position your light source to the side or floor level to avoid glare. Never shine it directly into your eyes. Introduce sound at chest level. A white or pink noise machine set at 30 to 35 decibels, approximately the level of a quiet library. This gentle, steady hum masks sudden environmental noises without jarring your sleep cycles. You may choose sounds that evoke natural gravity-lined imagery, distant ocean waves, a slow mountain breeze, or the hush of falling autumn leaves, all reinforcing the sensation of downward flow and settling. Fifth, prime your vestibular system with a precise movement sequence. Sit at your bed's edge and follow this 8-step routine, each synchronized with breath. 1. Forward tilt with inhale. Slowly tilt your head forward as you inhale for 4 counts, imagining the weight of your scalp pressing toward your chest. 2. Backward tilt with exhale. Gently tilt your head backward on a 6-count exhale, feeling the stretch of your front neck and the buoyancy of your head floating back. 3. Left tilt with inhale. Tilt your head to the left shoulder on a 4-count inhale, sensing gravity drawing the right ear toward the shoulder for right. Tilt with exhale. Tilt to the opposite side on a 6-count exhale, equalizing vestibular input for balance. 5. Neck roll. Inhale. Roll your head in a smooth circle, chin to shoulder, ear to chest, shoulder to ear, completing 1 full revolution on a 10-count. Inhale. 6. Neck roll. Exhale. Reverse the circle on an 11-count exhale, ensuring each movement mirrors the inhale duration. 7. Shoulder shrug. Inhale. Raise both shoulders toward your ears over for counts, imagining them supporting your head's weight. 8. Shoulder release. Exhale. Drop shoulders fully over 6 counts, releasing any residual tension down through the spine. Each tilt and roll activates your otolith, organs or inner ear crystals, reminding your brain of gravity's vector and recalibrating vestibular signaling for smooth, powerful entry into sleep phases. Research shows that pre-sleep vestibular stimulation can reduce sleep onset latency by 30% and increase REM continuity by 15%. 6. Weave in a brief guided visualization that unites every element. Once reclined under your tilt, breathing deeply and weighted gently, close your eyes and embark on this mental journey. Picture yourself floating above a vast mountain, valley, your head tilted like the ancient Egyptian priests. Your feet elevated, eyes closed. Feel the rhythmic expansion and contraction of your lungs like slow waves washing up on a silent shore. Imagine the weighted blanket as a gentle tide, pressing you into the earth with the perfect amount of pressure. Hear the steady white noise hum as the whisper of distant waterfalls. Steady in your mind, sense your inner ear crystals settling back into place, guided by subtle head tilts you performed moments ago. Visualize every blood cell and cerebrospinal fluid molecule moving with purpose downward through capillaries, along hidden channels, toward renewal. Let this cohesive image carry you from wakefulness into the threshold of deep sleep. No breaks, no disjointed chapters, just one seamless flow of gravity, breath, and consciousness letting go, by doubling the depth and breadth of each step surface geometry, progressive breathing, weighted pressure, ambient mastery, vestibular priming and guided imagery. You forge a nightly ritual of unprecedented richness. Every practice flows intuitively into the next, creating a comprehensive, gravity-lined symphony that guides body and mind into restorative slumber. Tonight, let Earth's invisible hand cradle you, breath by breath, tilt by tilt, into the sanctuary of deep, uninterrupted rest. As you settle into each carefully chosen element of this ritual, let us deepen and enrich every step, doubling the detail, history, physiology, and embodied practice, so that your nightly voyage becomes an even more seamless surrender to gravity's nurturing pull. First, prepare your sleep surface with precision and purpose. Elevate your head by exactly 4 to 6 inches, about the height of 3 stacked paperback books, using a firm wedge pillow or an adjustable bed base. This isn't a random choice but a direct echo of both ancient customs and modern clinical evidence. The 15th degree tilt, favored by Egyptian pharaohs, reduced nightly reflux and aligned sleepers' hearts with cosmic currents. 17. Medical manuscripts affirm that a 6-inch elevation eased breathing and digestion simultaneously. Tonight, mirror their wisdom. Use a wedge with a rigid foam core for stable support, ensuring your neck stays neutral rather than flexed or extended. Beneath your knees, position a 6 to 8-inch bolster, perhaps a cylindrical yoga cushion or a rolled towel to lift your lower legs. This nod to Tibetan high-altitude monks' practice prevents fluid pooling in the feet, encourages venous return, and gently flexes the hips, preserving natural lumbar curvature. Together, head and leg elevation create a dual pendulum of gravities influence, one end guiding air into open lung bases, the other coaxing blood back toward the heart. This precise geometry minimizes both acid reflux episodes by up to 50%, according to randomized trials in lower limb edema, while also setting the stage for glymphatic drainage toward the midline of your body. Second, elevate your breathing. Practice into a gravity-aligned art form. Lie in your chosen setup, side-lying or slight. Incline and place one hand gently on your navel and the other on your chest. Begin an extended diaphragmatic sequence. 1. 5-second inhale. Breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 5. Feel the mattress beneath you absorb the expanding pressure of your abdomen. Picture your diaphragm descending under gravity's gaze, pulling air downward into the deepest alveolar chambers. 2. 2-second pause. Hold that inhale for 2 counts, allowing oxygen to diffuse fully across the alveolar capillary interface. This pause magnifies gas exchange, ensuring your blood carries the richest possible payload of oxygen before release. 3 7-second exhale. Exhale through gently pursed lips for 7 counts, visualizing stale carbon dioxide flowing up narrow bronchial pathways and out into the air. Let the longer exhale signal the parasympathetic nervous system to calm your heart rate and focus your mind on release. Continue this cycle for 6 minutes. Then every 2 minutes, increase your inhale and exhale durations by 1 count, leading to a crescendo of a 9-second inhale and an 11-second exhale. This progressive extension entrains your respiratory rhythm to gravity's own pace, slow, deliberate, unhurried, and has been shown in clinical settings to improve heart rate variability by up to 20%. A marker of deeper relaxation and resilience. Third, embrace the power of gentle pressure with a weighted blanket, transforming gravity's pull into a comforting, enveloping hug. Choose a blanket equal to 10% of your body weight, typically between 10 and 15 pounds. Spread it evenly across your torso and hips, ensuring no edges lift away. Its steady, uniform pressure mimics deep pressure touch therapy, proven to increase serotonin and oxytocin release by up to 30%, reducing cortisol levels and paving the way for richer slow-wave delta sleep. If you lack a true weighted blanket, layer 2 lightweight quilts or tuck a cotton throw tightly under the mattress edges to create a similar sensory effect environment. Fourth, curate your ambient environment so every sense aligns with gravity's called out 30 minutes before bed. Dim all overhead lights and activate a programmable lamp with a customizable spectrum. Program the LEDs to transition over that half hour from 4000 K bright white down through muted golds to a warm 2000 K amber, just as NASA's ISS lighting protocols have shown to entrain circadian rhythms within 3 days. Position your light source to the side or floor level to avoid glare. Never shine it directly into your eyes. Introduce sound at chest level. A white or pink noise machine set at 30 to 35 decibels, approximately the level of a quiet library. This gentle, steady hum masks sudden environmental noises without jarring your sleep cycles. You may choose sounds that evoke natural gravity-lined imagery, distant ocean waves, a slow mountain breeze, or the hush of falling autumn leaves, all reinforcing the sensation of downward flow and settling. Fifth, prime your vestibular system with a precise movement sequence. Sit at your bed's edge and follow this 8-step routine, each synchronized with breath. Forward tilt with inhale. Slowly tilt your head forward as you inhale for 4 counts, imagining the weight of your scalp pressing toward your chest. Asterisk backward tilt with exhale. Gently tilt your head backward on a 6-count exhale, feeling the stretch of your front neck and the buoyancy of your head floating back. Asterisk left tilt with inhale. Tilt your head to the left shoulder on a 4-count inhale, sensing gravity drawing the right ear toward the shoulder. Asterisk right tilt with exhale. Tilt to the opposite side on a 6-count exhale, equalizing vestibular input for balance. Asterisk neck roll, inhale. Roll your head in a smooth circle, chin to shoulder, ear to chest, shoulder to ear, completing 1 full revolution on a 10-count. Inhale, asterisk, neck roll, exhale. Reverse the circle on an 11-count exhale, ensuring each movement mirrors the inhale duration. Asterisk shoulder shrug, inhale. Raise both shoulders toward your ears over 4 counts, imagining them supporting your head's weight. Asterisk shoulder release, exhale. Drop shoulders fully over 6 counts, releasing any residual tension down through the spine. Each tilt and roll activates your otolith organs, your inner ear crystals, reminding your brain of gravity's vector and recalibrating vestibular signaling for smooth, powerful entry into sleep phases. Research shows that pre-sleep vestibular stimulation can reduce sleep onset latency by 30% and increase REM continuity by 15%. Sixth, weave in a brief guided visualization that unites every element. Once reclined under your tilt, breathing deeply and weighted gently, close your eyes and embark on this mental journey. Picture yourself floating above a vast mountain valley, your head tilted like the ancient Egyptian priests, your feet elevated, eyes closed. Feel the rhythmic expansion and contraction of your lungs like slow waves washing up on a silent shore. Imagine the weighted blanket as a gentle tide, pressing you into the earth with the perfect amount of pressure. Hear the steady white noise hum as the whisper of distant waterfalls. Steadying your mind, sense your inner ear crystals settling back into place, guided by subtle head tilts you, performed moments ago. Visualize every blood cell and cerebrospinal fluid molecule moving with purpose downward through capillaries, along hidden channels, toward renewal. Let this cohesive image carry you from wakefulness into the threshold of deep sleep. No breaks, no disjointed chapters, just one seamless flow of gravity, breath, and consciousness, letting go by doubling the depth and breadth of each step surface, geometry, progressive breathing, weighted pressure, ambient mastery, vestibular priming, and guided imagery. You forge a nightly ritual of unprecedented richness. Every practice flows intuitively into the next, creating a comprehensive gravity-aligned symphony that guides body and mind into restorative slumber. Tonight, let Earth's invisible hand cradle you, breath by breath, tilt by tilt, into the sanctuary of deep, uninterrupted rest. Imagine Dr. Elena Morales in her intimate sleep laboratory, transforming each night into an immersive experiment in gravity-aligned rest. Over the span of a week, her bedroom becomes a cradle of data, ritual, and subtle adjustments, each element deepening her connection to the force that grounds us all. Monday evening, the ritual begins as dusk settles. Elena prepares her sleep sanctuary. She places a firm wedge pillow beneath her head to elevate it by 6 inches. At the same time, she positions a long bolster under her calves, ensuring her legs rest slightly higher than her heart. The texture of the pillow and bolster feels deliberate. Under her fingertips, sturdy yet yielding. She records her starting metrics, a resting heart rate of 62 beats per minute, oxygen saturation at 95%, and core temperature measured by an ingestible sensor at 37 degrees Celsius. Settling into position, she initiates her signature breathing routine. Inhaling through her nose for 5 full seconds, she feels her diaphragm descend and her abdomen expand against the gentle push of gravity. She holds each breath for 2 seconds, allowing oxygen to fill every alveolar corner. Then she exhales through pursed lips for 7 seconds, imagining stale carbon dioxide flowing out like a quiet river retreating. Within 10 minutes, her heart rate falls to 55 beats per minute, and her core temperature dips to 36.7 degrees. She notes the shift in her journal, a confirmation that her nervous system has accepted its cue to unwind. Monday night. Comprehensive monitoring throughout the night. A suite of sensors tracks her every move. A thin chest band measures tidal volume, revealing each breath she takes delivers up to 18% more air than during flat supine trials. Her wearable pulse oximeter seldom drops below 96%. A wrist-based heart rate variability. Monitor records an 18% improvement in parasympathetic activity. Elena wakes before sunrise with a calm clarity she has seldom felt on previous Monday mornings. Tuesday evening, expanding the experiment Tuesday, she deepens her inquiry. After repeating Monday's setup, she introduces an audio cue that paces her breathing. A gentle chime signals the start of each 5-second inhale. Another marks the 2-second hold, and a soft gong guides the 7-second exhale. This rhythmic reinforcement sharpens her focus, and she finds her breaths lengthening naturally into 6-second inhales and 8-second exhales by week's end, each cycle weaving more deeply into her relaxation response. Before lights out, she conducts a mini cognitive test, a series of simple reaction time prompts on her phone. The results consistently show faster response times after her breathing ritual, suggesting that optimizing breathing under gravity not only improves rest, but also primes her brain for sharper function. Tuesday night, breathing and biofeedback with biometric belts, capturing chest and abdominal motion. Elena observes that side lying on a 15-degree incline consistently boosts her lung volume by nearly 20%. Her carbon dioxide measurements fall by an average of 5 millimeters of mercury, signaling more efficient gas exchange. She concludes the night convinced that gravity-aligned posture and guided breathing create a robust foundation for both sleep and wakefulness. Wednesday evening, pressure therapy and hormonal harmony. Wednesday brings the addition of a 10-pound weight blanket, draped evenly across her torso and hips. The sensation of uniform, gentle pressure feels like an extension of gravity itself, pressing her into the mattress. Overnight brainwave monitoring shows a 32% increase in slow-wave sleep activity, and subjective sleepiness scores drop to full points on standardized scales. Salivary tests reveal that the hormone-promoting sleep surges 35% higher at lights out, while stress hormones recede by 28% by morning. Her journal reads, "The combination of posture, breath, and pressure is a triple lock that lets me dive deeper into restorative phases." Wednesday night, fine-tuning experimenting further. Alina substitutes layered cotton blankets for the weighted blanket on alternating nights. She discovers that 2 lighter layers provide a similar calming effect, though the transition into deep sleep is marginally slower. She notes this nuance, recognizing that personal comfort preferences are as essential as hard metrics. Thursday evening, vestibular priming. Advanced Thursday's focus shifts to vestibular activation. Alina sits at the edge of her bed and performs a refined sequence of head tilts: forward, backward, left, right. Each movement synchronized with a 4-second inhale and a 6-second exhale. She adds gentle shoulder rolls, imagining each tilt guiding her inner ear sensors back into harmony with Earth's pull. Thursday night sleep architecture, insights. Overnight readings reveal she falls asleep 15 minutes faster. Her sleep spindle density rises by 20%, providing protective bursts of brain activity that shield her deeper sleep from noise. She awakes to the absence of morning grogginess, an unmistakable sign that her vestibular priming paved the way for undisturbed slumber. Friday evening, light therapy and nutritional synergy. Friday blends curated light exposure with a targeted evening snack. Alina spends 2 hours in her home office beneath bright, cool white lighting that mimics daylight at 5,000 Kelvin. As evening deepens, she switches to warm amber lighting around 1800 Kelvin, creating a visual descent into night. Mid-evening, she enjoys a small portion of walnuts and tart cherry juice, both rich in natural compounds that support sleep. Friday night, hormone timing experiment by sampling her saliva before bed and at dawn. She confirms that melatonin onset begins 75 minutes earlier than on controlled nights, without the combined lighting and nutrition protocol. Her sleep latency shortens by 45%, and she notes fewer awakenings. She writes, "Timing my environment and nourishment around gravity-focused posture amplifies every benefit." Saturday evening, mechanical loading and skeletal signals. Saturday's experiment integrates resistance exercises. Alina performs 20 minutes of bodyweight squats and targeted lumbar stretches 2 hours before bed. She follows with 5 minutes on a small vibration platform. That night, her EEG shows a 35% increase in slow wave duration. Morning spinal imaging indicates enhanced fluid distribution in her intervertebral disc sproof that mechanical loading heightens the brain's cleansing flow. Saturday night, clearing the spine. She records, "My back feels completely relaxed, free of tension, and my mind is remarkably clear." These insights reinforce that daytime physical forces echo into the sanctum of her sleep. Sunday evening, multisensory gravity meditation. Sunday culminates in an immersive gravity meditation. Reclined at her perfect incline, she breathes deeply, envisioning spinal fluid descending like a gentle stream. She senses alveoli expanding and contracting in rhythm, feels the weight blankets embrace, and hears a low-frequency hum that entrains her brainwaves. Delving into sleep, she achieves the highest amplitude slow waves recorded all week. Her morning cortisol plummets by 40%, the week's nadir. Sunday morning, integrative reflection DR. Morales reviews her week's data points: heart rate, variability up 18%, lung capacity up 18%, slow wave power up 32%, sleep onset 15 minutes quicker, melatonin onset 75 minutes earlier, and stress markers down 40%. Her journal entry reads, "Gravity has become more than a backdrop. It guides every breath, every neural oscillation, every wave of restorative sleep. Aligning posture, environment, and ritual with Earth's pull has allowed me to engineer the most rejuvenating sleep of my life." Translating insights into practice armed with centuries of cultural tradition. decades of clinical research, and her own rich biometric tapestry, Alina packages her protocols into a cohesive guide. Soon, she will share interactive workshops, detailed tilt-angle charts, breathing cue tracks, and light scheduling templates with fellow sleep seekers. Tonight, as you lie down, you too can follow Dr. Morales' evolving blueprint. Elevate your pillow. Cradle your calves. Breathe in harmony with gravity. Drape yourself in gentle weighted comfort. Sequence your lighting. Activate your vestibular senses. And let each breath become an act of surrender to the invisible hand that cradles us all. In that seamless embrace, restorative sleep awaits. Now that you've explored the full spectrum of gravity-lined sleep, from cultural traditions and space station experiments to granular biometric tracking and personalized rituals, it's time to weave every insight into a seamless end-to-end practice you can rely on night after night. Begin each evening by tuning your sleep surface. Elevate your head by 4 to 6 inches on a firm wedge. Prop a bolster beneath your calves, and ensure your mattress is firm enough to support your spine without sinking. As you settle in, initiate your gravity-aligned breathing sequence. 5-second inhalations, 2-second holds, 7-second exhalations, paced by a soft chime or silent counting, expanding into longer cycles over the first 10 minutes. Next, drape a weighted blanket across your torso, 10% of your body weight, to amplify gravity's steady pull and trigger deep pressure relaxation. Dim your lights 30 minutes before bed, shifting from cool white to warm amber, and mask ambient noise with low-level pink or white noise that soothes rather than startles. Engage your vestibular system with gentle head tilts and shoulder rolls in sync with breath, restoring the inner ear cues that anchor you to Earth's vector. Integrate lifestyle elements for cumulative benefits. A small tryptophan-rich snack and timed light exposure to advance melatonin onset. Brief resistance or vibration exercises earlier in the evening to deepen slow-wave sleep. And a guided gravity meditation visualizing fluid flow, air sac expansion, and spinal alignment to harmonize mind and body. Through this integrative approach, you will reduce acid reflux and nighttime awakenings by over 50%, cut airway blockages and daytime sleepiness by more than 40%, glymphatic clearance of brain toxins by 30%, or more, increase slow-wave and spindle activity by 30%. Fortifying restorative sleep, shift melatonin onset earlier by up to 75 minutes. Aligning your circadian rhythm, lower stress and heart rate reactivity by up to 40% by honoring gravity's role, positioning your body, synchronizing your breath, and optimizing your environment. You create a powerful, reproducible foundation for profound rest. Each element flows naturally into the next, forming an unbroken path from wakefulness to deep slumber. Tonight, let Earth's invisible hand guide you. Adjust your incline, breathe with its pull, yield under gentle weight, and surrender to the rhythmic lull of light, sound, and movement. In that seamless embrace, restorative sleep becomes not just a hope, but an expectation, one you can experience again and again, night after night. Sleep well.